very first time in 2023 alone. In all the competitions she's competed in, she's made 13 finals and only lost in 2 of them. One of them was to Aileen de Graaf in the Italian Open final, and of course it was yesterday to Rhiannon O'Sullivan that she lost in the other. So Beau Greaves getting us underway in this one, up against Laura Turner, who is looking for
42.
her best weekend of the year in order to get herself back in contention to be playing at the match play in July. She wants to be there competing as opposed to commentating.
180.
And that 180 is certainly going to help her on her way against Beau Greaves.
Yeah, it's a stunning start from Laura Turner, isn't it? A ton followed by a ton 80. And if you were thinking that she was going to roll over for Beau, then you can think again.
Yeah, these two have met 4 times in the past. I'm sure Laura Turner will be aware that it is Beau Greaves who's come out on top in all 4 of those meetings. 3 of them in the women's series, and 1 of them in the British Classic quarterfinals last year. But it is Laura Turner who's made a blistering start in this one. First to a finish. And Beau Greaves way back on 268.
59. $98.
So Laura Turner, can she get a leg on the board here? Double 16 the target, now double 8 next door.
54.
She's unable to. So Beau Greaves, can she reel in the big fish? Not going to happen on this occasion. So Laura Turner,
58.
she's had multiple opportunities, but to get over the line in this opening leg. Double 4 is pinned, and I mentioned that these two have met 4 times in the past. Their last 3 meetings have all been 4-0 wins for Beau Greaves. The other one was 5-2, but
100.
that's the first leg that Laura Turner has got off Beau Greaves in their last 4 meetings. So I think Laura Turner as well is the type of player who will be aware of that sort of thing. She's someone who really does think about things like that, doesn't she?
Yeah, part of the problem, though, is that meeting her later in the tournament, you have to get to 5, don't you? So 1 leg is all well and good, but winning 5 against Beau Greaves is a very different proposition. Of course, you don't want to run into the best players early in the tournament in some ways, but often the best time to catch them is in the shortest formats.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've just seen it in the last couple of matches we saw. We saw Lisa Ashton almost get beaten by Lindsay Ashton, her daughter, and we saw Mikuru Suzuki get beaten by Kirsi Vinnikainen.
Yeah, quarter-final stage underway. We've got Lisa Ashton against Fallon Sherrock in one of them. Lisa Ashton taking a 2-0 lead in that one. Fallon Sherrock has just pulled a leg back, though. Robin Byrne is 2-1 up in her quarter-final against Vinnikainen, who we saw earlier get the better of Mikuru Suzuki. Very impressive in that one. And then another Irish talent, Katie Sheldon, is 2 apiece with Ayuso at the moment. So we'll keep you across all of those matches.
Yeah, that's the first quarter-final for Ayuso, first Spanish quarter-finalist on the women's series. That's after we had our first Welsh winner yesterday.
Cymru am Beith.
41.
No, I'm not hungry, thanks. Oh, you were doing a Welsh thing. Right, I get it.
100.
So Laura Turner, of course, making the better start in this one, but Beau Greaves first to a finish in 81. Leg 2.
Yeah, time on her side as well. Treble 18 for double thereof, not to be. Shuffling across to try and find a route 58. To that blocked treble. All Laura Turner can do in this leg really now is hit and hope.
Yeah, and Beau Greaves, that's just the second leg she's dropped all day
41.
Just one leg en route to the quarter-final stage. It doesn't look like she's going to drop this one. Just readjusting there.
36.
Yeah, Turner not in position to do anything about it, though. So she can miss as many times as she wants at this point, but not next time, because Turner is going to be in finishing range.
83. Game
She
shot.
manages to get the job done on double four. An eye roll from Beau Greaves. We saw it in the final yesterday, of course, when she lost out to Rhiannon O'Sullivan. Wasn't used to missing so many darts at double. She is just having a word with herself at the back of the
100.
hockey there. Moving her hand around, maybe not 100%. And she does seem to be throwing more freely in the scoring phase of
140.
this match, doesn't she? Maybe a little more hesitant when it comes to those darts at the outer ring at the moment. Maybe worth keeping an eye on.
60.
Laura Turner hasn't had a good year, really, so far on the Women's Series. Just to put into context, she's actually played 26 matches
57.
fewer than Beau Greaves in just 6.5 events. We know that Beau Greaves is making progress deep in all of them, but success for
60.
Laura Turner has been, well, basically absent until this event when she's reached her first quarter-final of 2023. And she did suffer a first-round defeat in the
58.
second event yesterday, having fallen in round 3 the day before, and the first round again in the last event in Leicester, all against players that she would expect to beat.
60.
Jackie Wilkinson, Fonso and Willis, and Rebecca Edwards.
45.
Yeah, Beau Greaves with 2 averages north of a ton already today in this tournament. Some way off that level at the moment, but if you do look, there has been some inconsistency.
60.
Started with an 80 average, albeit again in a 4-0 victory, then up to a ton, then just below 80, and then a ton again. So following that pattern, you would expect this one to be lower, and then she'll go and average a ton in the semi.
We often see it in all of her wins that a worst performance is often a first performance, and usually it can afford to be.
Yeah, she doesn't look happy with something out there at the moment.
99.
Treble 14 will be the first port of call in this visit. That leaves 60, so 20 and tops to break the throw.
34.
Ends up on tops in the end, but it's a chance for Laura Turner.
And double 16 is the target of choice, and she manages to pin it to go 2-1 up.
Yeah, Beau cost herself a dart at double there with a wayward one, and Turner punishing. We will have the semi-final from the other half of the draw, by the way, so it will be the winner of that Sherrick-Ashton bout.
And I can say that Lisa Ashton is 4-2 up at the moment, within a leg of
140.
victory.
So if she does win that, it'll be her against either Kirsty Vinnikainen or Robin Byrne live here on PDC TV.
45.
Turner in front here, and at the moment, as Abby highlighted, in a way you'd have to say Beau Greaves is there for the
57.
taking.
Yeah, and you wonder how much Laura Turner is aware of that. I think she will be to some degree, because she is used to being on the end of a barrage from Beau, isn't she?
100.
So to not have that coming back, you must be aware that there's something.
Well, it can work both ways. You can either think, yeah, she's there for the taking, and it can give you confidence, or you can
100.
think she won't play like this for the rest of the match, and you can almost be aware that it's law of averages says it's going to come at some point.
Yeah, and maybe you're more critical of yourself when you're not taking
140.
advantage. Yes, she has with a fantastic score of 140 there, but when you're not fully taking advantage of it, that way of thinking is more likely to enter, isn't it? Where you're thinking, right, I've just gone into the big 5.
60.
Beau's not going to give me opportunities like this throughout this entire match, and I've not been able to capitalise.
Well, this is an opportunity because really all Laura Turn has to do is keep holding her throw. She does that 3 more times, she's won the match. But when Beau gives her a chance to
45.
break, she can really pile on the pressure. And you see there, Greaves faltered, opened the door, but Turner followed. Another for double 12. Here it comes.
120.
Well, the last one was a big distance away, and the frustration was evident in the way she retrieved the darts. She's still having the post-mortem of that one.
So far away, you ducked.
45.
Yes. I did mention it in that final with Rhiannon O'Sullivan yesterday as she misses 2 more, 1 more at double 6.
12.
This is, I think, where we're learning the most about her for quite a considerable amount of time, because we're so used to her mopping up these finishes with relative ease that now things aren't coming quite so easily for her today and towards the back end of
86.
yesterday. She's got a lot to think about here, hasn't she, Beau?
Well, double 6 is all she should be thinking about right now, and that's what she slams in for 2-2. But yes, still not winning legs comfortably.
And look, it's not disastrous by any stretch, of course it's not, but we're judging her by her standards and her alone.
Well, she's free rolling anyway, isn't she? There's no pressure on her at all
45.
in terms of qualifying for things. She's at the match play. She's effectively in a position of almost being uncatchable for the Grand Slam and the Worlds as well. So it's just about carrying on. But what we are seeing is that, well, she's not an artificial intelligence construct. She's actually a human being.
45.
Yeah, and look, even when she's not been at a consistent blistering best, she is
60.
still putting in averages over a ton.
She can win on probably C game. I'm not sure anybody else can. Certainly a handful of players can win on B game.
95.
We might see that here. We might see her win this match on probably, well, what, C minus, D?
Absolutely. I don't even think she'd give herself that, the way she's berating this performance herself. She looks so
57.
disheartened by this, doesn't she? Even though it is 2 legs apiece, and Laura Turner must be getting a sense of that.
Well, look, I don't want to labour the point too much, but she is a player who's struggled with
140.
technique problems. She's had a bout of the sort of dreaded dartitis where she struggled to release the darts as she would have liked. And I guess when you've had that,
60.
there's always the fear that it might come back. And there have been a couple of occasions in this game where she's had to re-grip the dart. So that little nagging doubt in the back of the mind could be one that starts permeating the brain a little bit more.
43.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost one that nobody wants to go there. Nobody wants to even suggest it. But of course, as you said, the regrip, it's bound to be in the back of your mind when you have already had to
140.
battle that. I am just going to update you. Lisa Ashton has got the better of Fallon Sherrock by 5 legs to 3. She'll take on the winner, as Murph said, of Robin Byrne and Vinna Kane, and that one's currently 3 apiece. And Ayuso has got the
59.
better of Katie Sheldon by 5 legs to 3 as well. Really, really impressive to see the Spaniard through to the semi-final.
This could be the big moment in this match, double 6.
72.
Well, she's probably lucky she hasn't hit double 10 there, 'cause she would have bust the score. But that would have been for a break of throw, and Laura Turner now is really in defence mode, so that is a fantastic dart. 2 at double 16.
Game
no
shot.
trouble at all, and you have to give her full credit, because twice in this match, her throw's been under threat, and twice she's taken out clinical combos to keep hold of it, and therefore to keep hold of the advantage.
That was absolutely massive, and that is one of the first times
57.
I've watched a lot of Beau Greaves. That's one of the first times I've ever seen her go for a dart at double where I didn't think she was going to hit it, because she was talking to herself as she was releasing the dart. And I've never really thought that about Beau. I've always believed that she's going to hit
55.
whatever she's going for. That's one of the first times that I've thought, I don't think this is going to go.
Still very much in the match, and again, still Laura Turner is just trying to hold a throw. And I think, in a way, Greaves has been overly critical here.
140.
Absolutely.
She's she's hit a 140 there, and in the middle of it, she's given herself a real dressing down.
I don't even talk to myself like that if I score 7 in a visit.
60.
Yeah, just needs to keep a level of self-discipline about this, because we can't be perfect all the time. And it'd be nice
60.
to get the feeling that she's enjoying it. Enjoy it by all means, but enjoy it by being disciplined.
140.
She really is giving herself quite the talking to here, isn't she?
Well, also, she doesn't like the way the darts lied.
60.
Move. And I don't mean move across the oki like she did. I mean move to a different target. There's no reason that you have to throw at treble 20 all day long.
100.
But amongst it all, she's still very competitive, so...
Very
98.
competitive, still very much, of course, in this match. Even though to look at it, looks as though she's feeling the heat, even though, as Murph mentioned, she's got no reason to, because she'll already be playing
26.
in Blackpool. This would be a huge, huge statement if she could get back on level terms.
39.
And a long way off the intended target there again.
So this is a big chance, because this is to break. Can she get above that and into the red bit? Well, she got above it and she got close, but not close
60.
enough.
There it is, just a small regrip again before releasing
Game
that
shot.
dart. But she gets the double 16 pinned, and she is back on level terms yet again.
Sometimes all you need is just one good leg at the right time, and that's what it might take to win this match. And then we might see her
43.
go and post those big averages, those free-flowing performances in the semis and final. But in this one, she's having to scrap.
57.
And for Laura Turner, if she were to go on and lose this match, I think it would arguably be the most difficult defeat to Beau Greaves that she will have had, because she'll know
60.
that she's there. This is, you know, the average is very little to split the two of them at the moment. And she's just not been able to take this game by the scruff of the neck and get herself ahead in this one.
And Greaves
43.
is starting to switch now, so that's a positive, but the switch to the 18 was too far. Turner right on the money with that dart. Can she follow? Yes, she can. Another.
140.
Not quite, but it puts this leg and therefore still this match very much in her grip.
$100.
It is, as we've said, the first time we've seen Beau play today on the stream, but she's played well in many of her other matches.
100.
Make no mistake in thinking that she's just scrapped her way through. A couple of them completed in just 60 darts to win 4 legs. 100.2 averages
81.
against both Ros Bulmer and Rhiann Griffiths.
And we can confirm that the next match we bring you will be Robin Byrne against Lisa Ashton. Byrne has completed that victory over Vinnikainen, so that'll be what we bring you next on the streaming board.
Yeah, and my advice,
85.
don't blink. That will be a speedy affair. Right, Laura Turner then, to go within 1. 14 for tops after a wayward one. Should have had 2 darts at this target
18.
and may have needed them. One moment of brilliance could change this game. Again, we saw the little bit of a regrip there. Wasn't content to release the dart.
43.
Maybe that just knocked the rhythm away from Greaves. Laura Turner has never got to 4 legs against Beau Greaves. Many of those matches in first to 4 games. Double 10 will get her to 4 here.
20.
We've been speaking about whether it would be a moment of brilliance that turns it for Beau. Is it those missed starts at double for Turner that does that?
Yeah, well, she'd never managed to make it to 3 legs against Beau in previous
No score.
encounters. That is remarkable. We said the misses at double were uncharacteristic, but I've never seen anything like that from Beau Greaves.
It wasn't just that dart, it was the double-double attempt that was nowhere near as well. And Turner
Game
takes
shot.
advantage. Yeah, a poor visit from Beau Greaves there. I mean, in the end, the bus doesn't matter because she didn't come back, but a little bit of carelessness. You still wouldn't put it past her to win the match. Every one of the 7
57.
legs so far have gone with the throw. So if that carries on here, we will get a decider. And that is a different prospect. We've already seen Turner miss darts to get to this point before eventually getting over the line.
60.
Even though she's not a brilliant best, she's still Beau Greaves, and that in itself brings an enormous amount of pressure for the opponent.
I do think, though, you can see a massive difference
100.
with her throw when she's in the scoring visits compared to when she's got a finish, when she's down to a finish. I do think she's throwing more freely in the scoring phase of this one. The
60.
majority of the regrips have come towards the latter stages. She looks like she's battling herself a little bit towards the end of these legs.
Usually very adept at that dart.
100.
She shows it there, stepping across, finding a way past the blocker. Still looks likely to go the distance unless Turner can hit a massive one here. Really needs a 180 to ruffle the feathers.
140.
Wasn't far away from it.
The door may be opening once again for
60.
Laura Turner slightly.
Yeah, just wonder about that choice as well there from Greaves. She was blocked by both the dart above and below the treble. Could have gone for the 18s to leave a finish.
Needs a treble.
60.
Now that's perfect. Should probably come down for the 19s.
132.
Yeah, that's superb from Beau Greaves. And it looks as though we will be going all the way in this one.
Well, whoever wins it is going to have done it the hard way. There's never an easy way to beat Beau Greaves. 88.
Game
There we
shot.
go. No trouble there. Quite free-flowing in that finish. And that's a good sign going into the last leg. Every single one of the 8 legs on throw. Can Beau break to nick the match at the end? You could just see there a gesture which was almost,
140.
to me, signalling a mental reset. Right, it's just one leg now. Forget everything that's gone before.
Absolutely. I mean, the maturity to do that. I mean, I know she is now berating herself for this visit, but that is just
100.
because she expects that reset to mean perfection.
Yeah, well, the problem is if you do that reset and then the first dart or two give you memories of what's happened before, then it's kind of rendered irrelevant,
44.
isn't it? And you have to do it again for the next visit and again for the next visit. And that's kind of what she's having to deal with here. Just one dart at a time, one visit at a time.
57.
Yeah, she does. She's going through spells where she's managing to do enough to get to these points, but she is battling away there, isn't she? This is, at times, I'm going to say it, quite difficult to watch the way that
60.
she's struggling with her game there. Or in her own mind, she seems to be.
Yeah, well, it's the low dart, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the dart below the treble 20 that's forcing her to move or switch
85.
or nigh on every visit. When we saw the perfect dart towards the end of that previous leg is high in the treble for her. Now, the next visit, she's got to be careful to make sure she does leave a finish.
60.
Advisable to start on the 19s.
She doesn't take that advice.
If she hits another,
But, yeah.
doesn't matter. If she hadn't hit with a second dart, surely she would have then gone to the 19s. But in the end, she's okay. Although most players would still prefer to have been on 120 than 119.
100.
And Laura Turner's put herself in a slightly easier position.
Tops to complete this match, despite not being at her brilliant best. Beau Greaves.
99.
It must have been a difficult dart. It must have stood up because that's in the treble 20 and she was having to move. Turner has held her throat on every occasion she's needed to. But she doesn't get a dart
57.
to win the match. And now Beau Greaves gets 3 more.
Up for double 5. And it's not going to happen.
No
So
score.
Laura Turner could get her first ever victory over Beau Greaves. Had only previously managed to get 2 legs
Game
against
shot
Beau
and the
Greaves.
match.
Hadn't managed to register a leg in the last 3 meetings, but she comes through in a decider to progress to the semi-finals. That could be really crucial in her bid to make it to the match play.